Assalamualaikum and hi. Welcome to the presentation of our group for STA 108. This presentation is about our study on the importance of exercise and how regular physical activity benefits your mental health. As for our group members, we have Muhammad Ammar bin Muhammad Zulkifli, Adam Lukman bin Abdullah Sani, and myself, Muhammad Ikram Almi bin Muhammad Ishaq. To begin the presentation, we have chapter 1, which is the introduction. The background of the study for our study case is that exercise is important to people, especially for the effects on their mental health, because exercising helps to lower stress levels significantly. But some people live in sedentary lifestyle, which is they rarely exercise, which begs the question of how often people exercise in a week and how much stress level can be lowered by doing so. Hence, this study investigates the relationship between exercise frequency and stress level. Then that's one's objectives of the study and the significance of the study. For the objective of the study, our first objective is to describe the distribution of exercise frequency and stress levels among the participants. And the second one is to apply graphical techniques such as stem and leaf and box plots to visually explore the data. And the third one is to compute descriptive statistics such as mean, median, quartile, range, and standard deviation for both variables. And the fourth one, to analyze the relationship between exercise frequency and stress level using correlation. And the final one, the fifth one, is to interpret the findings and provide conclusion on how exercise may be associated with the levels of stress. For the significance, the first one is to show the benefits to people of all ages that exercise frequency can affect stress levels. The second one is to provide health professional with recommendation in dealing with stress. The third one is to give researcher a more detailed foundation for studies on lifestyle and mental health. And the final one is to encourage students and educators to exercise as a healthier habit as opposed to their sedentary lifestyle. For the next chapter, methodology, the first one we have the data description. The data set that is used in the study consists of observation from 5 individuals, making the data ungroup, with a focus on examining the relationship between exercise frequency and stress level. Each individual is represented by a unique identifier, uh, person 1 to person 5. The dataset contains two quantitative variables, which is exercise frequency. This variable measures how often each person exercises in a given period of time, which is per week. It is represented as a non-negative integer. And the next one is stress levels. This variable indicates the self-reported level of stress on the scales by the participants, also represented as a non-negative integer. Higher values correspond to higher stress levels. As for graphical technique, in order to explore the data we have obtained, we use visual tools from application IBM SPAS Statistic Viewer to create a stem and leaf plot, box plot. And for each exercise frequency and stress level in descriptive statistic analysis, we also use a scatter plot for the relationship exercise frequency and stress level in correlation and regression analysis.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The name is Muhammad Ammar bin Muhammad Zulkifli, and I'm going to talk about chapter 2.3, Numerical Techniques. In this section, we apply numerical techniques to analyze our dataset more precisely. This includes calculating various descriptive statistics such as mean, median, mode, variance, standard deviation, and range. These values help us understand the central tendency and dispersion of both exercise frequency and stress level among our 5 participants. Chapter 3.1 Data Presentation. The data: Person 1, exercise frequency is 3, stress level 2. Person 2, exercise frequency 0, stress level 5. Person 3, exercise frequency 5, stress level 1. Person 4, exercise frequency 2, stress level 3. Person 5, exercise frequency 4, stress level 2. 3.2 Descriptive Statistic Analysis, Numerical plus Graphical. This is the result of the calculation of the data. Next is Chapter 3, Results and Interpretation. Starting with the mean values, we found that the average exercise frequency is 2.80, meaning people tend to exercise around 2 to 3 times per week. Meanwhile, the mean stress level is 2.60, which also centers around the midpoint of the scale. As for the median, exercise frequency is at 3.00, suggesting a balance. Half of the individuals exercise less than 3 times and half exercise more. The median stress level is slightly lower at 2.00, showing a slight skew towards lower stress. Interestingly, exercise frequency has no mood, no value repeats, whereas the most common stress level reported is 2. This reflects a general consistency in stress among participants. Standard deviation gives us insight into variation. Exercise frequency shows a moderate spread at 1.8.924, while stress levels are slightly more consistent with a standard deviation of 1.517. Likewise, variance support this. Exercise has a higher spread at 3.7 compared to stress at 2.3. The minimum exercise frequency is 0, meaning someone didn't exercise at all, while the maximum is 5. For stress, the values range from 1 to 5. This gives us a range of 5 for exercise and 4 for stress, showing that exercise frequency varies more drastically. The interquartile range for exercise is 4, which is quite large considering we only have 5 participants. It reflects a wide spread in the middle 50% of values. Stress, on the other hand, has an interquartile range of 3, still notable but more compressed. Here is the exercise frequency, stem and leaf plot. Now, let's take a closer look at the 3 quartiles, Q1, Q2, and Q3, which help us understand how the data is distributed across all participants. First quartile, or Q1, marks the 25th percentile. For exercise frequency, 25% of the participants exercise less than 1 time per week. For stress level, 25% of individuals report stress level lower than 1.5. This tells us that a small portion of the group experience very little physical activity or low stress. Second quartile, or Q2, is the median, the 50th percentile. Half of the participants exercise less than 3 times per week, while the other half exercise more. Similarly, for stress level, half of the individual reports level below 2 and the rest above. This helps us pinpoint the midpoint of our data and confirms what we observed in the earlier descriptive analysis. Lastly, third quartile, which is Q3, represents the 75th percentile. 75% of participants exercise less than 4.5 times, meaning only 25% reach or exceed that level of activity. For stress, 75% of the group report stress level below 4.0, with only a few reaching the highest end of the scale. This again shows that most participants fall into a moderate range, with fewer outliers on the extreme ends. From our skewness analysis, exercise frequency shows a slight negative skew at negative 0.590. This means more people tend to exercise more frequently, with a few outliers who don't. Meanwhile, stress level is positively skewed at 1.118, indicating that although most people report moderate stress, a few experience very high levels. Next, in chapter 3.3, Correlation and Regression Analysis Correlation, we will explore how exercise frequency is related to stress level. Visually, this is shown in our scatter plot with a downward sloping regression line, which reflects a negative trend. Through Pearson's correlation analysis, we found a negative correlation. This means that as exercise frequency increases, the stress level tends to decrease, supporting our initial hypothesis. To further investigate this relationship, we perform a simple linear regression. This is the continuation of the simple regression calculation. The resulting model suggests that for every 1 unit increase in exercise frequency, the stress level decreases by approximately 0.770 unit. This is a strong indication of an inverse relationship between the two variables. Overall, the regression model supports our assumption. More frequency means more frequent exercise is linked with reduced stress.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Adan Oman and I'm gonna explain about chapter 4 conclusion. For 4.1 report summary. After applying graphical and numerical technique on descriptive, correlation and regression of the data which have two variables, exercise frequency and stress level, we have determined that the relationship of exercise frequency and stress level is inversely proportional, which proves the exercising frequency will decrease stress level. This is backed by the analysis of the descriptive, mainly skewness, as well with correlation and regression of these two variables. The skewness analysis showed that exercise frequency will distribute commonly left skew, while stress level will distribute to the right skew. Next, the correlation analysis show that there is negative correlation between exercise frequency and stress level. Finally, the regression analysis show that if there is one increase in exercise frequency, stress level increase by negative 0.770. And now 4.2 recommendation. Based on the finding of the study, we can propose that number 1, people of all ages to exercise regularly at least 3 until 4 times per week. This is because stress level would decrease more if exercise frequency was increased. By doing so, we will maintain our mental health and stable level. Number 2, health professionals should consider prescribing physical activity as part of non-pharmacological intervention of patients experiencing stress and or anxiety. Exercise can be promoted as a cost-effective, accessible method for managing mental health. Number 3, research to validate these findings and explore all the potential factors that might influence stress level, such as sleep quality, diet, or social support. Number 4 and last, school and university should create awareness program and offer more opportunities for physical activity, such as exercise club or scheduled workout times. Encouraging movement may help reduce academic-related stress among students. Thank you.